Hello, I'm Jon Linder, John Barry Linder from Alva, Oklahoma. I got into photography. It was kind of an accident. I got a 1968, got a little camera out of a box of Captain Crunch, and it was just a little bitty square thing that you get. They used to have this film called, it was 126 cassette instead of 110, and it fit perfect inside the 126 cartridge. And so I got a roll of black and white and took it. And I still have the negatives and some of the pictures around. There was a wasn't a carnival, it was a zoo or something, not a zoo, there's some animals, a giraffe and an elephant, but I don't remember any rides or anything. I remember my mother still had black hair, and my little sister, she was 2 years younger than me. 1968 is when I would have been 6 years old. And then a few years later, I got a roll of color, and I put that put that little box on that, and had that film processed. And it was a lot of fun. I climbed up on top of the house, took some pictures of the car from the roof. Kind of looked abstract. It was kind of fun because I showed it to Mother, and she didn't believe it at first. And one of her friends was sitting there with her having coffee, and she said, "Yes, Willadine, it is your Monte Carlo from the roof of the house." And I was told not to climb on the roof again, which I'm probably sure I did not. I'm sure I did not obey that one. But anyway, I didn't really get into photography until 1983 as a trade. I went skiing. I've been talking to a guy named John Kirkham, and he was talking about the art school. It's a design school, Colorado Institute of Art in Denver. And you get an AA degree there, Associate in Art. It was a design school on advertising, not just about everything from fashion to ads in magazines to designing boxes of toothpaste, stuff like that, everything, and photojournalism in the photography department, commercial photography, studio photography, and it was a lot of fun, and I loved the darkroom work. I did have a little bit of trouble, probably a lot of photographers did, when even Kodak invented the first digital camera actually, and they didn't do anything with it, and they let it sit on the shelf because they didn't think anything would ever happen, and they thought it weighed too much. The first, I believe it was a 1 pound camera, which a lot of them weigh a lot more than that. My new one does. But anyway, they made the first digital camera, and they set it on the shelf, and somebody else started going wild with digital cameras. And I was a little hard. I love the darkroom work. I love the burning and dodging of prints, and watching the image of come to life in the developer. And same thing with processing film. You go in the dark, you process your film, you agitate it, and then you got to dump the chemicals all in the dark, and put new chemicals in there in the dark, and that's dip and dunk. You have little. I did do baskets of 36 rolls of film that time, dip and dunk. I did that all in the dark. But going to digital, I was afraid. I got to admit, I was afraid for some reason. I didn't understand. I think that I was ignorant to digital photography. I was uneducated on digital photography itself. So I had to pretty much self-teach myself all that. I couldn't comprehend really. It took a while to wrap my mind around taking a picture without putting any film in my camera. It's like, well, didn't quite understand what a compact flash card was or anything like that. So anyway, but I love it now. I love digital photography. I've got a new camera. It's a little over a year old now. It's a Fujifilm GFX 100. Very nice camera. It's 102 megapixels. I bought one a year before that, or 2 years before that, at 50 megapixels. And it was a rangefinder. That's what inspired me to get the. I think they're really not through the lens anymore. You look at these cameras that a DSLR is, but some of these cameras are claiming not to be a rangefinder. You look like you're looking through the lens, but you're really just looking at a video image, and that's kind of a little bit distracting. But being starting out and not in digital photography, and I've just loved it. I've been to 48 states, 5 U.S. territories, and over 50 countries. Photography's taken me. Sailed in and out of the Panama Canal, I don't even know how many times, I couldn't count. Sailed around the Horn of South America. It was quite nice. The South American cruise, it was 51 days. I've sailed from Whittier, Alaska, which isn't far from Anchorage, all the way down the west coast of the United States to in and out of the canal to around the Horn of South America, and then up the east coast of South and Central and North America, Neutral America. And it was all beautiful. I sailed from out of Montego Bay, was one of my home ports, and New York City was one of my home ports, and Vancouver was another home port. How I got into cruise ship photography out of school, I tried getting into the commercial photography. It just didn't happen as fast as I wanted it to, I guess. So I came back to Oklahoma and photographed a wedding, and the mother of the bride showed me some pictures of a cruise they went on. So I got the idea of doing cruise ship photography by going to, that kind of put the seed there. And when I got back to the city, I was living in Oklahoma City at the time, and the wedding was here in Alva. I went to a travel agency and called all the numbers and back, and finally I was first hired by Eastman Kodak, and then they pulled off the ships. And I went to another company called Transocean Photos. I did that until probably 99. Hong Kong was the last home port that I sailed out of. And I moved to Hawaii, lived, and working on cruise ships took me to Hawaii. And I liked it so much, I just decided to live there for about 2.5 years, and I did photography there, and it was absolutely great. The people of Hawaii are great, people in Oklahoma are great. What do I like to take pictures of the most? It's hard to say, really. I love fine art. I like infrared. That's my favorite film, but it's really hard to get that really done the way I used to be able to do it. Because I used to do everything. I used to have my own times, have my own chemistry, mixed strength and times for it, and the exposure of the film. And then the darkroom work, that's not, that's something that you just, for doing it for yourself, it's burning and dodging all that is just really not financially feasible as it is to send it to a lab or Photoshop it yourself, or send it to a lab and tell them what you want. And they do it. You can contact me on Facebook and Instagram. On Instagram, it's linder.jb. And I believe on Facebook it's just John Barry Linder. It'll be a picture of my father and I with a couple of bird dogs. So, and he also encouraged. It took me 3 years after I graduated high school to go to college and get further my education. And he really saw the change in photography. He wanted me to go to Northwestern first, so I did. And he really encouraged me to go on further with the career of photography. And I love sunsets, I love people, I love wildlife. I just kind of like it all. I get a camera, and if I have time, I like to travel and take pictures. And what I see is what I take pictures of. Thank you.